Okay, folks, welcome back to another game. Let's see what we have today for us. A hard puzzle. Okay. All right. First thing that jumps out at me is these two fours here. Pardon me, top row, middle row. Only spot left for a four goes there. I see a pair of fives here and here going up vertically. There's only one spot left for a five here. Let's see what else we have. Pair of ones. We'll kind of maybe go around the map here, and a one here. Middle, bottom, and center. Only one spot left for the one. Okay. See a pair of sixes. Yeah, we're going to work our way around the map here. And a six across the top. Only spot left for a six goes here. All right. That's kind of nifty. I got a pair of threes here. Tells me this is the only spot left for a three. All right, so we have, this has to be called a ghost row across the top, and then this one goes through the middle, and then we do have a three down the left side, so this is the only spot left for a three here. All right. Got a pair of sevens here and here. So in the center, this is the only spot left for a seven. Now I've only got two numbers here, and one of them has to be a three, but this cannot be a three. Tells me this has to be a three. All right, and then the only number we're missing in this column looks like an 8. All right, and that looks like that's the first 8. Nope, we do have another 8 right here. Okay, all right, so we got two numbers missing here. Looks like a 2 and a 5. Yeah, 2 and a 5. All right, let me jot those down. Now I notice there is a 5 across the bottom, 5 down the right. So that also means one of these two is a 5. So in the center cube, no 5 in the bottom, no 5 in the top, no 5 in the right, and these two create a ghost row to say no 5 in the left. Only spot left for a 5 is right smack in the middle. Okay. All right, I'm going to look at this cube for a moment. Here's a 4 that comes across, so it tells me one of these two is a 4. Let's see. I need a 2, 3, 4. I need a 5. Okay, this 5 does go through the middle. 6, 7, 8, and I need a 9. Okay, so my 2 and my 9 I'm not sure about just yet. We're going to come back to that in a minute. I'm going to go through and mark all the ones that only have two options. Okay, so I know one of these two is an 8 because I can't have an 8 in the left. Okay, I do have a 1 here, goes through the middle, and a 1 across the top. So one of these two has to be my 1. My 2. My 3 goes through the middle, so 3 has to be here to the left. My 4 goes across the bottom. That could be one of these ones. 5, 6, 7. Got our 8. And then a 9. Can be almost anywhere. Okay, so let's leave that for just a moment. Oh, cool, cool. We got some 1s here, left and right. That double locks these two fellers. They cannot be anything else other than a 1 or a 5. So that is helpful. So I got my 1. I need a 2. Anything? Nothing to help me with the 2s just yet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, cool. 8 goes across the bottom, so the only spot left for an 8 is there. And then I need a 9. So these are 2 and 9. Okay, and they're double locked, which tells me the only number left here is a 6. That's good. All right, now this 6 comes up the left side. This 6 comes through the middle. Only spot left for a 6 in this cube is right there. Now I have a 6 through the middle, 6 through the bottom, and a 6 through the center. So this is actually the only spot left for a 6. Okay, I am missing an 8 and a 9 for these two spots. So let's jot those down. 8 and a 9. 8 and a 9. Okay, one of these two is a 7. One of these two is a 7. That's what I was looking at because I have an 8 here. So this one could be an 8 and a 9, but one of these two has to be our 7. All right, let me take a gander down here at this cube. I'm just kind of following them around. I do have a 9 through the center and through the middle, so my 9 here has to be left or right. Okay, no help on the 8 just yet. 7 goes across the top, so the 7 has to be in one of these two. 6, 5, 4, 3. I'm just counting backwards for fun. All right, so my 2 has to be in the middle. And then my 1 comes through the middle, and that has to be one of those 3. Okay. Let's look at this. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 can be anywhere. No help on the 8, and then there's the 9. Okay. Let's take a look here at this center one. We've got a 1. I need a 2. Okay, so I need a 2, but it can't. Okay, I'm looking in the center column for just a moment. See, here's a 2, so that tells me this can't be a 2. Here's a 2, this can't be a 2. And here's a 2, so that cannot be a 2. So this is actually the only spot left in this column that a 2 can actually exist. Very important. Very, very important. Okay. So now I have a 2 across the top, I have a 2 across the bottom, and I have a 2 through the middle. So 2 has to be one of these two fillers. All right, I need a 3, 4, 5, and then I need a 6. Okay, cool. This 6 is going to help out because I have a 6 in the left, a 6 in the center, and a 6 in the middle. So this is actually the only spot that can be a 6. Well, one of these two had to be a 3, and this one now has to be the 3. One of these two were a 6. Well, it can't be the bottom one anymore. Let me clean that up. There's our 6. Now one of these two, if I can get them, was a 2. Now that's a 3. That one has to be my 2. Okay, very good. I'm just kind of looking at my pencil marks as we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we need a 7. Can't be on the left because of this feller. So 7 has to be here in the middle. And then we need an 8 and a 9, and those can pretty much go anywhere. Okay, so let's take we just put some more numbers down here, and I'm trying to verify what we just done did. Okay, so these 7s, now there's a 2 here, and there's a 2 here. So now these two are going to be interlocked. They have to be a 2 and a 7. That makes this one an 8 and a 9. That is locked. Okay, so those two are locked into place. All right. Okay. Do you guys see what's next here? I'm getting close to having to write down all the numbers because my brain's missing some to keep up with. It's not a bad thing. I just try to catch a couple more here if I can. Using my ghost rows, my eliminations. Okay, those are looking good. Those are looking good. Hmm. 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 All right, folks, I think I'm going to have to start jotting them all down. I want to be careful so I don't overdo it. The center cube's all done. So this one here, I know 8 can't go here, but 9 could. And this one here, 8 or 9 could. All right. Now I've got a 2 and a 7. And what's the other number we're missing here? An 8? I'm looking in this column here. So it could be an 8 or an 8 or a 7. So that column there is all, these three are interconnected. 2 or an 8, not a 7. 2 or a 7, not an 8. And a 7 or an 8, but not a 2. So these three are all interlocked. Those are done. That is good and dandy. Okay, so let's go back up to this cube. I need a 1. Can't be in the top or through the center. So let me just jot. These could be the possibilities. We have a 2. So we need a 3, and it can't be through the middle. And it can't be through the center. Okay, so we actually have one of these two has to be a 3. Do we have a help over here? Oh, we do. This 3 comes through and this 3, so that matches. Okay, very good. So 1, 3, and 4. Those are handy. Okay. 2, 3. Okay, we've got the 4. 5, 6. Now we need a 7. Now this 7 comes through. Okay, so the 7's here. I'm looking at this column here while I'm doing that. I can't have a 7 here. I can't have a 7 here. And I can't have a 7 here. So in this column, the only way to get a 7 is to put it right there, folks. That's the only way to get a 7. All right, so let me clean this 7 up here. Now I've got a 2 and a 7, and if this is a 7, well, that makes this a 2, makes this one a 7. All right, so we've got these 8 and 9s interlocked. Okay, all right. So the two numbers that I'm now missing here is a 5 and a 9. Okay, stretch my fingers there. Now with those being interlocked, I now know that here I'm missing a 4 and a 2. 4 and a 2, and those are locked. Very good. Very good. Okay. All right, so back to here. We are missing in this particular column, we have an 8 and a 9, and we need a 1. Well, we can't have a 1 here, but you could have a 1 here, and we could have a 1 here. We need an 8. 8 could go here. Could 8 go here? Yes. And 8 could go here. Oh, I was holding the shift. Oh, 1 and an 8. Okay, let me go back to here because I'm starting to get myself confused a smidge. So this could be my 1. Not across the top, not through the middle. 2. My 3 has to be over here. My 4 has to be over here. 5, 6. I have a 7 and a 7. So I could have a 7 here, 7 here. And then I need help with the 8. And I don't have any eliminations on the 8. So 8 could be here, here, 8, 8, 8. Like that. Could be. Okay, that's kind of messy. But I got to make sure to get all the numbers in there or I'm going to mess myself up. Okay, let's look down here in this bottom cube. I need a 1 and it can go here, here, or here. My 2 can only go here in the middle. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 can only go here. 8 cannot go in the middle because of this guy. But it could go 8, 8, 8. And then I need a 9, and 9 cannot go here or there, so 9 is either there or there. Okay, and 1 and 5 is locked, and 2 and 5 is locked. Let's look at the center cube here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have the 7 marked out. 8 could be anywhere. And then 9 can also join them anywhere. And now that one is fully marked out. Okay, so we've got 1 having to be here. 2, 3. 4 can't be on the bottom. 5, 6, 7. We need 8. Okay, 8 is marked, can't be on the left side. And then we need 9, which 9 can be anywhere but the middle. So 9, 9, 9, 9, like that. Okay, so it looks like actually the entire, I think that marked out the whole puzzle, right? Okay. All right, so I found the solution last time. Kind of ended up being like this right here. So if this is a 7, one of these two is a 7. Nope, no, this one could be a 7 here too. All right, if this is a 7, that makes these two 8 and 9, and these two 1s and 3s. If this is an 8, that makes this a 9 and makes this a 7. Again, makes these two 1s and 3s. So see how these are kind of entangled? I'm still trying to sort these ones out here, but what my understanding is because these three, no matter what, if this is a 7 or an 8, if this is an 8, that's a 9, that's a 7. If this is a 7, then these two are 8 and 9. That makes good sense. I understand that basic logic. But what that tells me is this can't be a 9 anymore, and this can't be a 7 or an 8 anymore. Those two are double locked. They have to be a 1 and a 3, or this will break the numbers there. And that's what I'm looking for. This is normally where I get in the very hard puzzles, where I'm having a hard time seeing the next solution. And this is what I'm really kind of glad that I found that. That's what I'm looking for in a line. Okay, so if this is an 8, see, that's going to force this to be a 1, that's going to be a 4, and then that's a 1, 4, and an 8. That's a 3. And this is where I've got to write it, down on a piece of paper here because I have a hard time trying to keep all those up. So let me just see how that turns out. If this is an 8, okay, then that makes this one a 1, which makes this one a 3. And if that's a 1 and an 8, that's a 4. 3, 4, 8, that's a 7. Now if that's a 7, then those are both 8s and 9s, then that's a 7. And if that's a 7 and those are 8s and 9s, and those are going to be 4s and 3s. Okay, so that won't work. Okay, so if this is a 7, so if this is a 1, it turns this into a 7. Okay, now if this is a 7, that means these two are 8s and 9s. Now if these two ends up being 8s and 9s, this becomes a 4, this becomes a 3, then 1 can only go in one of these spots, but it won't fit. 8 and 9, 4, 3. And there's only one spot left for it to hold 8 and 9. See this 8 and 9 and 8 and 9? I have to have one of the 8s and 9s here, but the other one has to come back up. So that won't work. Okay, all right. As long as my other logic sounded pretty sound, and this one is sounding pretty sound. So that means this can't be a 1 because that causes this to be a 7. If this is a 7, then these two are 8 and 9, and that will lock those both. This will make this a 4, that'll make this a 3. Then both of these have to be a 1 because that's the only number there, and then there's not room for that to fit. Okay, so let's put that in. This has to then be an 8. That has this, makes this a 7. All right. Now let's see how that pairs out. That makes this one a 7. Okay, let me get rid of this 7. There's our 8 and our 9. Our 8 and our 9, those are all locked in good. Okay, so we just did a 7. Let me get rid of the 7 and 8. Get rid of the 8. Okay, if this is our 7, this has to be a 2. If that's our 2, that has to be our 8. Okay. Now, this is the only one left to be a 7. Okay, now if this is a 2, that makes this one our 5, makes this one our 2. If that's a 5, that makes that our 1, that makes that one our 5. Okay, now if this is our 2, this is our 4, this is our 2. Okay, if we have a 5 here, that makes this one our 9, makes this one our 5. Okay, now this one here, okay, if that's our 9, this one has to be our 8. And then if we have an 8 and a 9, that one makes this one our 4. Makes this one our 1. Makes this one our 4. 3, 1, 3. Then we have an 8 here, so that makes this one our 9. Makes this one our 8. Okay, and we have a 3 and a 4 already, so the 9 is the only number that goes there. Okay, we have an 8, so that makes this one our 9, makes this one our 8. We have an 8 there, 9 and 8. Okay, we have a 1 and an 8. Only number left here is a 9, and the only number we're missing here is a, not a 2. Oh, I fat fingered it. What was that, an 8? That's how I get it there at the end of the puzzle. I just fat fingered the numbers and threw them off. So there you go, folks. That last bit of puzzle for this hard one, it was actually, I feel really good about because I've been trying to figure out that last pattern, and we found 2 of them. That's much better than my brain has been doing in these past puzzles. So to find that, I feel kind of excited. I may have to watch this again and look at that. and go back and look at some of my previous ones. So I'm learning, still watching, still learning. Hope you guys had some fun. I always suggest pausing it at the beginning. Print you off a couple copies and play along with, and see how you do. Always suggest or welcome suggestions, comments, challenges, and thanks for watching, folks, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.